Hey you all, I hope your day is going great. In this tutorial you will learn how to set up your Django project. By the end of this video you will have an up and running Django project running in a virtual environment and you will be able to start your development process. As you can see, I'm in the command line and we first of all want to make sure that we have a package installed called virtual env wrapper, pip install virtual env wrapper will install that for us. And then we can create a new virtual environment using the mk virtual env command, and then I'm going to name it sample app. Now we want to install Django in our virtual environment, so pip install Django. And to start a new application, we now use the Django -admin command, start project, and then we can give it any name we want, so sample app. And let's change the directory to sample app. And to start our development server, which is already built in, we can use the manage.py run server command. And as you can see, our server started at 127.0.0.1:8000, and this part here is the so-called loopback address, which just points back to our computer, so in this case localhost, and then this is the port 8000. And to visit this server now, we can simply go inside of our browser, and you can see that as soon as we do that, we get a nice splash screen from Django. Now back in our command line, we can stop the server with Ctrl+C, and Django is structured with project and application. The project is just your overall project you are working on, in this case sample app, and your applications are little containers which compose part of your project, and you can use multiple applications in your project to structure them in a more convenient way and make it more obvious what's happening. In this case, we are going to create a simple application for storing and retrieving snippets, so coding snippets like HTML snippets or something like that. And we can start a new application using the manage.py start app command. And then we're going to give it the name of snippets. And now to open our project inside of Atom, I'm just going to type in Atom and then a dot. Okay, let's go over the basic project structure of what Django gives us. We have the sample app folder, which is just the main directory. In it we have the init.py file, which just tells Python that this is a module. Then we have the settings.py where all of our settings live, with the secret key, which you should keep secret, should be obvious. And then we have the debug equals true option, which serves static files for us, and more on that later, but of course if you're in production you want to turn this off. And under this section we have the installed apps, and as soon as you create a new app you want to make sure to add this to your installed apps. In this case we call it the snippets. And Django will now recognize it. Scrolling down a bit, you see our databases option, and by default Django comes with an SQLite 3 database, which makes getting started for us very easy. Next up we have the urls.py, and this here with this URL patterns variable is the main entry point for our application, more on that later. And then we have this wsgi.py file, which you shouldn't worry about for now. And now inside of the snippets we have the migrations folder for the database, then again this init.py. The admin.py can be used to register your models to view them inside of the default admin dashboard, which Django already comes packed with. We'll also take a look at that. Our models.py is what we're going to use to create our model structure for all of the models we have. For example, in this project we are going to have a snippet model, which we want to be stored on the database of course. And we'll also take a look at how to write basic tests. And this views.py file is what is called by our URLs, but again, don't worry about that for now. We are going to go over this whole structure step by step. But for now, we want to take a look at how the basic request and response cycle works inside of Django. And it all starts out with the user sending a request of course. Then Django will figure out where the main URL conf lives, and by default this is just in our main project folder under the urls.py file with the URL patterns variable as we already discussed. And then it's going to run through all of the paths in order and see which one matches first, and the view will then return a basic response to the user if everything goes fine of course. In the next part we are going to be working with URLs and see how they apply to Django and take a look at some design patterns for using them. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure to let me know in the comments down below and leave a like and subscribe. Until next time, take care and cheers.